Right. So, what we discussed in the previous session about microservices, right? So,
Yes, sir.
microservices
Benefits,
architecture, right? So,
characteristics.
right.
Yeah.
So, what are the
Yeah.
architecture of microservices we have, and what
Mhm.
are the different benefits microservices is having? At the same
Yes,
time,
sir.
what are the characteristics of microservices? That part we have discussed.
Yes, sir.
So, microservices architecture, as I stated you, because earlier it was monolithic, but
Mhm.
nowadays it is microservices, because whatever the components we are going to develop, for every component there will be a separate microservices we create.
Yes, sir.
Now today we are going to discuss about API. Okay.
Mhm.
API,
Yes,
which
sir.
stands for, write down, API stands for
Yeah. Yes, sir.
application
Go ahead.
programming interface. Application
Programming.
programming interface. So what API stands for, right now? API,
Mhm.
API,
Mhm.
which stands for application programming interface,
Yes.
is consists of
Yes, sir.
set of rules and protocols, consists of set of rules and protocols
Mhm.
that enable
Mhm.
software applications
Yes.
to communicate each other
To communicate with each other.
for the purpose of
Yes. Mhm.
exchanging the data or features or functionalities.
Data,
Exchanging the
features.
data or features or functionalities. So API is nothing but application programming interface.
Okay.
So what application programming interface? API is the one which normally creates some, we will have some different rules and as well as protocols wherein to develop communication between two different applications. I'll give you a simple example so that you can understand well what is API
Yes, sir.
and how it functions and how it works. For example, you want to book a flight ticket. Am I right?
Okay.
I'll give you two examples. For
Okay, sir.
example, you want to book flight tickets to some destination place.
Mhm.
Now, being a user, what we do? We go to the travel portal.
Yes, sir.
We access the list of flights which are available on the particular date. We see the
Yes, sir.
availability
Mhm.
of the destination where we want to reach, but what time the flights were. At the same time, if you want to select any kind of seating, everything you see.
Mhm.
You see every recent updations, whatever the seats availability, everything you can see it. Finally, you book the tickets. Am I right?
Yes,
Yes
sir.
or no? Right? Now,
Yes, sir.
here is a question.
Mhm.
Whatever the travel portal are you using, irrespective of the portal it belongs to.
Mhm.
If this travel portal anywhere is related to any of the flight services,
No, it's like a third party.
it's a third party. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
So if you are a user, what you are doing, using some third party tool, underline this point, using a third party
Okay.
application, you are accessing the flights information, different flights, whichever the flights
Mhm.
are available. Either it can be a domestic or international flights where you want to
Yeah.
travel. So you
Yes, sir.
can access the data and you can use it for your booking purpose. Am I right?
Yes.
Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One more example. Let's say we are using now and then we are using some social networking websites, something like
Yes, sir.
Facebook, all that.
Yes, sir.
Now we have a provision whichever the Gmail account you have. Using this Gmail account, you can access your LinkedIn and Facebook. Am I right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, here is a question to you. Is there any connect officially between any LinkedIn as well as Gmail account? No.
No, not
Because
necessary. No.
LinkedIn
No, we are
is
just you.
completely a
Yeah.
social network,
Yes.
professional website.
Yes, sir.
Email is all a mailing services.
Yes, sir.
So why it is happened? Because there is an API which has created in between.
Okay.
So API
Which is allowing this, which is
API
allowing us to use our Gmail login credentials to create an account on LinkedIn or Instagram
not
or
to
any
create,
other
to login.
to
Not
login. Yes.
to login.
Yes, sir. To login. Yes.
So if you want to use your Gmail credentials to create, because we are using nowadays, using your Gmail to log in LinkedIn or something.
Yes, sir.
There was a API which was already created by the developers. That's the reason why you are able to access it. In
Okay.
the same manner, if you want to book a flight tickets using a third-party application, we are accessing the flight details and you're booking the flight tickets for the destination. Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, developing a communication between two different applications, either to access the data from one application to other application, or
Yes.
accessing the functionalities, is something inevitable in any of the application development. Is it clear to you, Neha?
Yes, sir.
So API is a concept, I can say. If you can say API is a concept, more than the concept, I always say API is a rule-based protocol system.
Yes. Yes, sir.
Rule-based protocol system. Using this rule-based protocols and all, what we do, we create a connect between two different applications, so that we are creating a communication between two different applications. So whoever the user and whatever the purpose of usage they wants to do will be more easier for them. Clear?
Yes, sir. Understood. Yes, sir.
Understood? Right? So this is what
Yes.
generally we call it as API. Okay.
Okay.
Now,
Okay. So I have a question. So this API or this set of rules. So for the example of LinkedIn that you took, so so basically the team which is on the LinkedIn side, they have created this API with their link with the LinkedIn account that
yes,
anybody
yes,
can use an outside username and password to.
yes.
They have given that permission,
To
right?
give
The
it, to give
LinkedIn, the
a, to
LinkedIn
accept
side.
the
Yes.
access.
So it's like उन्होंने ये provision दिया है when that website or what that page was created. So they have added this in that coding के through या
Yes.
जैसे भी,
Yes.
right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So API
Yeah.
is very simple. API is nothing but when you want to develop any communication between two different applications,
Okay.
there must be some set of rules and protocols has to be enabled.
All right.
There must be some set of rules and protocols has to be established.
Established.
That is what normally we call it as API, which stands
Yes, sir.
for Application Programming Interface. Now,
Yes, sir.
next question. You can ask me one more question. Raj, in what way API is being useful for the application development? Point number one.
Okay.
Point number two, being a business analyst, to what extent and how are we
Then
going to relate this?
relate this.
Right?
Yes.
These are the 2 points.
Yes. Yes, sir.
So why API is required in application development? Because let's say, for example, we are developing some social networking website, for example.
Oh, okay.
Or else, for example, we are creating some social networking website, maybe for like LinkedIn or Facebook, or maybe of any other thing. Now, when you are going to create this application, normally the major reason of developing this application is to invite all the professional people to connect here and sharing the professional information. For that purpose,
Yes, sir.
you are developing the website.
Yes.
So you have to develop a ease of usage and ease of communication for the users. Then only users will be will attract to the social network
the
website
social.
and they can use it.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes. Yes,
For
sir.
example, if there is a social site, networking site, which is hard for a user to
Yeah. To
operate,
navigate. Yeah, to
navigate,
navigate or operate. Yes, yes,
you feel reluctant to use it again and again.
yes,
So when you will
yes,
be used to that, when you find it is very easy for you, when it is
yeah,
easy for you to navigate whatever the required fields are there, right? So if you are trying easy
yes,
to navigate all this, then you will be you'll be ready to use that application and all. Okay.
yes, sir.
So
Yes, sir.
whatever the application we are going to develop, either it can be, let's say, for example, we are developing some cloud-based point of sale system. I'll give you an example because this was the example we have taken earlier in the beginning, right?
Yes,
Let's
yes,
say,
sir.
for example, we are developing a cloud-based point of sale system. So what is cloud-based POI system? Cloud-based POI system is the one which is majorly used to develop a application for the purpose of billing.
Billing, yes.
Normally, inventory management system are all the modules which are incorporated in the POS so that you don't require to create any communication. Okay. But sometimes this POS system or POS application might require to get some what I can say, like have to follow some rules and regulations which was initiated by the government. For example, right? So there are some rules and regulations which they have to follow. So when they wants to use the features or they wants to know about the rules and regulations or the kind of instructions to be followed, what they have to do now, they need to have an access to the data. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Clear, right? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So inventory management system are all already in internal modules. You don't
Module,
require to
yes.
create any API here. You can
Separate,
create an
yes.
integration is enough.
Okay.
But when you want to incorporate or when you want to integrate with other application, integrate, not configure. Okay, integrate.
Okay.
For
Okay.
example, if you want to integrate with your existing application with other thing, let's say one more example, you are using a point of sale system. This point of sale system, you want to integrate or you want to create a communication with some ERP application. So what is
Okay.
ERP? ERP is an application which will streamline the business process of all the business, all the departments within the organization. Okay, to
Yes.
streamline,
Yes.
etc. Now you want to create a communication between these two applications, say POS application and ERP.
ERP.
What is
Yes.
required? So there is an API has to be created.
Created. Okay.
So in reality, as far as the first question which I have mentioned so far, sometime back,
Why API is required?
why
Yeah.
API is required for application development? Because of this reason. So like this, for any application, creation of API is something mandatory.
Okay.
Okay, first point.
Okay. Okay.
Second question. To what
Yes, sir.
extent, being a business analyst, this is related for us? Okay. Now, because this creation of API and developing communication is a technical requirement.
Okay.
It's a technical requirement. It's not a
Technical
functional
requirement.
requirement.
Yes. Yes.
You are
Yes.
creating a
Of course.
functionality, technical
Yeah.
requirement.
Yeah.
So
For the
being
system
a,
to work efficiently, we need API so that it can communicate with other components. Yeah.
yes.
So
So
it's
these technical
technical.
requirements has to be identified by the BA nowadays.
Oh, okay.
Because let's say how the application has to perform.
Mm-hmm.
And what are the other application this application has to be integrated with? From where you are
Integrated.
gathering this information? From the stakeholders. Am I right?
Okay. Okay.
Yes, sir. For example,
Yes, sir.
you have a customer who belongs to POS system, a retail store, right? You are
Retail store.
developing some
Yeah.
point of sale system to them. Some cloud-based or some point POS system you are developing.
Okay.
While you are developing a POS system, you have gathered all the features, what are the modules required, features, functionalities, right? Non-functionalities. You are gathering all the requirements. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Now, in this process of gathering the requirements, in the process of interaction, customer has told you something to you. What they have said, customer has told you, I want you to enable, because customer don't say I want API or something, because you cannot expect
Yeah.
customer is technically
But to
knowledgeable,
know, yes,
right?
to know
So
technical.
what
Yes.
customers say? Customers say that you are developing a POS system for our requirement. Agreed.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
what I want is that we have some ERP systems, external ERP
Okay.
systems. So we
Okay.
want to access these ERP systems so that whatever the business activities or the business processes my people in different departments they are managing, I want to know. For
Okay.
example, it's a manufacturing industry. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yes, sir.
they are having 2-3 manufacturing units in different parts of the location.
Yes.
They want to see how much manufacturing capacity that particular manufacturing unit consists of, and
Mhm.
how much production happening every day on day-to-day
Okay.
basis. Because if production
Okay.
capacity is low, automatically it leads to inability of team to perform well, right? So production
Yes.
capacity decreases, automatically production will also decrease. So
Decrease.
according to the requirement of the market needs, you may not be producing the products on time. Even though you have business, you cannot make
Yeah.
out of the business. That was the problem. So
Yes.
always manufacturing units want to see how their manufacturing units performing. At the
Yeah.
same time, to manufacture some products and all, whatever the required raw material is needed, do we
Yeah.
have sufficient raw material with us or not? So they want to
Mhm.
streamline everything, right? So they want to
Yes.
connect this logistics, they want to connect with the supply chain, they want to
Yes.
connect this with the purchases, they want to connect this with
Yes.
sales, marketing.
Mhm.
Everything is
Yeah.
interconnected here.
Yes.
So
So these
what
all
they want,
different functionalities, right?
yes,
Different functionalities will
in
be.
an organization, different
Yes, sir.
departments, purchase
Yes, sir.
department as separate,
Atman.
SCM department as separate, sales
Yes, sir.
department as separate, finance, HR, or IT department, right? So different departments.
Yes.
To
Mhm.
develop a communication among these departments, normally we use some ERP application, something like PeopleSoft, SAP.
Yeah.
Right? So different tier. Now, what customer say? I want
Mhm.
you to create a connect, or I want you to provide an option. Provide an option. I want you to provide an option where I have
Mhm.
to access my data from my ERP system. Okay, ERP system.
Okay.
So for that, to whom you are developing this, this is what generally you are developing for your customer. Okay.
Mhm.
Now, who are going to use this? Users of the POS system is using it. Okay. Now,
Okay.
are you going to create a separate exclusive user ID password for them to access that? Not required. Am I right?
No. Yes, sir.
Because using the same credentials, they can access even that application also. Yes, sir.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, sir.
So this is what something, as an example, let's say one of the technical requirement. If I'm talking about technical requirement, for example, customer has told this to you. Now, being a BA, what we do, for example, we are a functional BA.
Mhm.
Assume that we are not technical BA. Okay, we are
Technical.
a
Yeah.
functional BA.
Yeah.
What is the immediate thing we do? We take this like this. There will be some multiple technical requirements might have been given by the customer. So what we do now, we gather all these requirements, we gather all these consents, and we put it into the technical team. Okay.
Yes, sir.
What technical team do based on the information given by you? So
Mhm.
they decide to create an API so that this API creation will be successful to attain the result what customer wants.
Once.
Yes or no, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if a technical team now wants to create an API, being a business analyst, you should be knowing about how API works and what
Works.
exactly API stands for. That's the reason why knowing of API, about API and all everything is what something required for any business analyst
Business analyst. Yeah.
from the technical point of view, not from the functional, because API and
Function.
all everything are not functional. These are
Mhm.
something called as technical.
Technical.
Clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Understood or not?
Yes, sir.
Now, what are the different types of APIs we have? Write down. There are different
Okay.
types of APIs we have. First API, first one. First
Yes,
one
sir.
is called data API. Second one is called operating system API. Third one is called remote API. Fourth one is called web API.
Okay.
Done writing?
Yes, yes.
Right. First one about
Data
data
API.
API. Second, operating system API. Third one is called remote API. Fourth one is called web
API.
Now, what is meant by data API? Write down.
Yes.
Because APIs are different ways. Okay. Because if you want to connect communication between two different applications for the benefit of database management, then database API is being used. Okay.
Okay.
So just because of the communication of API you are creating, you cannot access everything. Depends on your requirement. Whatever the kind of API you want to use, what type of API we want to use will be decided by us. Now, the first one is called data API. Write down. This is the one. This is the one which is used to connect applications and database management systems as well. Connect applications and database management systems
DBMS, yeah, DBMS also.
as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, second,
Yes.
operating system API. This is used to define. This is used to define.
Yes.
How applications uses. How apps or application uses. Operating system services and resources.
Okay.
Next, remote API. This is the one which is used to define how different applications on different devices. How different applications on different devices interacts. Interacts.
Okay, done.
Okay, remote APIs are more majorly we use for the communication between two different applications. Because DBS, data APIs and all everything is used for the data related stuff. Okay. Next, one more API is called web API. This is even important. Web API. This is widely we use in technology. Web API. This is the one which is used to enable data and functionality
Yes.
data and functionality transfer. Data and functionality transfer. Over
Yes.
internet using HTTP protocol. Using
HTTP protocol.
HTTP
Protocol.
protocol. So this is one of the prominent and regular API we use. Web API. Means whatever the applications are, everything is internet based applications. Am I right? Everything. You need to have an internet to use the application nowadays. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So to create a connect among the functionalities to transfer, because for example, you want to enable the functionalities, you want to see the functionalities of another application. So for that, what you are doing, you are creating a web API. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Now, in this web API, again, there are 4 different types, right?
Oh, okay.
Web API again
Mhm.
consists of 4 APIs.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
One is Open API.
Okay.
One is Open API.
Yes.
Second is Partner API.
Sorry.
Second is
Partner.
Partner API.
Partner.
Partner, PART
Okay.
Partner API.
Okay. Okay.
Third is Internal API.
Yes.
Next, Composite API. Composite API.
API. Okay.
So what is Open API stands for, right?
Yes, sir.
Open APIs are open source
Yes.
application programming interfaces.
Open source
Programming.
application.
No, open source application programming interfaces. Which can
Yes.
access
Mhm.
using HTTP protocol,
Okay.
also known as public API. The other name for this is called public API.
Open API is also called public API.
It's called as public API, Open API, or
Okay.
it's also called as public API. Next, Partner API.
Okay.
These are the ones which connects
Yes.
strategic business partners. Strategic business partners,
Okay.
comma, continuation. In this,
Mhm.
developers access these APIs
Yes.
in self-service mode through a public API. Through a public
API.
API. Next, third one is called internal API. These are the ones which are also called as private APIs.
Which are also called
Private APIs.
private. Okay.
Private APIs.
Mhm.
Not accessible for external users. For external users means out of the company, if anybody wants to use it, these APIs are not used.
Yes, not
So these
used.
are the
Okay.
APIs which are used only within the organization, within the employees.
Okay. Mhm.
Understood? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Next, composite API. It's a combination of
Mhm. Mhm.
multiple data or service APIs. It's a combination of multiple data or
Or service
service APIs,
Okay.
comma, continuation. In this,
Yes.
they allow programmers to access several endpoints
Mhm.
in a single call. In a single call.
Single call.
Widely, these are, comma, continuation. These are widely useful in
Yes.
microservices architecture. Microservices architecture. Because in microservices architecture, because we are developing different microservices for different components. For every component, there is a composite API which can be created. That's the reason why these composite APIs are majorly used whenever we are going to create microservices architecture.
Okay.
Clear? Understood?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So this is what generally overall understanding as well as introduction about API, followed by what exactly API is all about, followed by this, what are the different types of APIs we have, followed by this, what are the different types of APIs in context to web APIs and all everything are all about. So
Yes, sir.
remaining things I'm going to explain tomorrow. Okay.
All right, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you so
Right.
much. Have a good night.
Mm.
Okay.